together before he had to move away?
2010, probably about a year and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was pretty serious.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he had to move away for sport, for football.
For footy again. He made that decision though.
Right.
He made that decision without me as part of it, which obviously caused a bit of, a rift there for a while. But it's something that he felt he needed to do and wanted to do, and it ended up being a really good decision for him career-wise because he got redrafted back into the AFL.
Right.
But yeah.
So a year and a half into a relationship, he's like, I'm moving.
Yeah.
And so that was it for you guys at that stage?
That was it. Yeah, because I was really sort of knee-deep in my studies. I probably wasn't ready financially or just even commitment-wise. Well, I was committed, but just I wasn't at the time. We weren't in the place where I was going to move. I wasn't going to give up my life and move straight away. But he didn't want me to move. It ended up he didn't want me to move. He wanted that time away, and he actually broke up with me. He did the arsehole thing, which I don't think I've ever forgiven him for, really, because it's probably the worst thing he's ever done to me.
Right.
He hasn't done many bad things to me.
Yeah.
But he broke up with me about 2 weeks after he moved over there.
Oh, right.
Over Skype.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shit move, mate.
Yeah, horrible. And it just wasn't him, and it wasn't the person.
Yeah.
Jared's the real type that, if he was going to do it, he would sit down and blah, blah. So, like I said, I don't think I've forgiven him for that.
Yeah.
But he regretted it very quickly, and as all young boys do, or I'm going to say all men do, they come crawling back.
Yeah, yeah.
Within about 10 days, I think, he came crawling back, and I just sort of, I don't know, I saw it from a different side. I thought, no, you've done this for a reason because you want to do it. And I said, and I understand the reasons why you've done that. You're 20 years old. We're going to be living in different states, and I'm not naive to the fact that 20-year-old boys need to do what 20-year-old boys need to do.
Yeah.
And at
That's
the same,
pretty level-headed as a 20 or 21-year-old
and
girl
I
to
had
think
girlfriends at the time that just, how can you do this? And even my family knew our situation, and they were just so confused. They're like, how are you doing this? But I knew it would benefit us in the long term. Mm-hmm. I wasn't going to force someone to be with me out of guilt. I loved him 100%, and I actually knew he loved me too. He was doing something that he sort of thought he had to do.
Right, yeah.
Or he didn't want to get over there and do something that he knew was going to hurt me. I sort of just let him go, and he fought and fought and fought, wanting to get back together. And I said, no, let's just sort of meet halfway, and let's just find the balance that's going to work for us best. And that ended up being basically that we were together when we were together, but then when we weren't, we weren't.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Which is incredible that you could do that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people couldn't.
And I look back at it now and I think, I think we were really smart about it, and we were really mature about it.
Because you also would have had judgment going, okay, so when we're together,
absolutely.
we're together. So essentially you were still kind of boyfriend and girlfriend, but you had your freedom when you weren't together.
So when I flew home from Adelaide, I'm sure Jared went out with his footy boys and did whatever he wanted to do. And as soon as I landed back in Melbourne, I'd call the girls and say, right, where are we going out?
You actually had the best of both worlds, but that is a massive mindfuck.
Yeah, but it wasn't a mindfuck. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm missing something in my brain, like I don't know if I've got a chemical imbalance with things like that, but I'm just so... I look at it this way, like he was a young boy. Young boys want to have sex with people. Yeah. And I kind of think I'm a bit of a boy in that way too, because I'm 20. I want to have sex with people too.
Yeah.
So, why are we going to force something? And I've seen so many relationships with people our age that they just fight and fight and fight to make them work. And I just think, why are you putting so much effort into something that's just a shit heap, really? Yeah. And I didn't want me and Jared to turn into a shit heap.
Right.
So we did, I didn't do it for him, I did it for me as well. I had the best year of my life.
Yeah, wow.
There were obviously some times that were tough, and that, the one rule we made for the whole year was we will not ask each other any questions. And
was that fine by you?
Yeah, completely fine, because as much as I didn't want to ask him anything, I didn't want him to ask me anything either.
Yeah, wow.
Still to this day. There's only one thing we've talked about, and it was because he said to me, when he was playing at Carlton, there was a guy there whose sister had slept with a boy that got drafted.
Right.
He said, I never want to be that guy that doesn't know that someone slept with you in the past. I never want to be that person. So in that year,
Oh, you did.
a little relationship was made, and then Jared ended up playing footy with him the year later. So I was up front and I said, I know we had this rule, but you told me that you never want to know. And he went, oh, he's a really nice guy.
Oh, good choice.
Yeah, he was like, I'm pretty sure he said, oh, he's a legend. And I was like,
so
yeah, he is a bit, yeah.
Did you have moments of you would have to be extremely secure in yourself?
Yeah.
And he would have to be extremely secure too?
Yeah.
Did you have moments where it felt like it wasn't working for you? Would you just readjust and...
Never. Like, it honestly felt so fine. And that's where, when we'd get the judgment, not judgment, but we'd get just, you know, I'd get girlfriends just going, how are you doing this? How are you okay with him doing that? And I'm like, because I'm doing it too.
Yeah.
And because I actually don't know what he's doing. That's why it was working too.
Right.
Because he could have been with 100 girls, he could have been with one, and I still don't know.
Yeah, right.
And that's why it's fine, because it's just, you know, what you don't know can't hurt you.
Yeah.
And I still don't know. And that's, you know, some people go, oh, how can you build a relationship around that? Well, that's what worked for us, and that's the beauty, that every relationship can be so different.
Well, and there wasn't any trust broken,
No.
and that's what the best thing is, because if you had both, and you're very honest saying you're a sexual person and he is too, and if you were not together, something could have happened where trust was broken.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm put my life on it that it would have happened, and I don't know which party it would have been, but it 100% would have. And I think that's where some people are naive to think that might not happen. You know, it's a natural part of being a human being. And that's why we were just so honest and upfront about the situation. It worked because we were both on the same page completely.
Yeah, and you would have, the only way that could work is if you were both on the same page.
But it wasn't just the girls, you know, my girlfriends that found it uncomfortable. It was boys on Jared's side, you know, because they're all macho men and they're territorial, and it's all right for him to do what he's doing. But then a few would hear, you know, or see me out in Melbourne and be like, you know, get on their high horse. Or, Soph, what are you doing? And I'm like, mind your own business.
Yeah, we've got our own thing going on.
We're going fine, thank you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then when he moved back?
It was just like, we were back to complete normal.
And then it's just us now.
Yeah, and I was pregnant in 6 months. Oh! Yeah.